Good morning, this is Laura GB on day 9 of my 12 days of components. Today we're carrying on the theme of tracking progress. So one very popular New Year's resolution is to be more healthy. So today we're going to draw a heart that is filled up by a certain percentage. Here's an example of what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start by walking you through the stages before we write any code. So the first step is to draw two hearts. We're going to draw a grey one and a red one, but they're going to be on top of each other, just like that. The next stage is to calculate what's called a clip path, and that can be shown by the dotted line we've got there. And if you can see, it goes from the left hand side 60% in to our heart. So that's calculating that path, and then we apply that path to the coloured heart at the front, the red heart. So there we are, our heart looks like it's 60% filled up. So that's it in theory. Let's get on and create a component using some SVG. So here we are in our app from yesterday. We're going to add a new component. So let's move over to components. And we're going to go for a brand new component. And let's rename it while we remember. So that's going to be day 09. And I'm going to call this heart fill. And we're going to insert a shape. Nope, we're going to insert an image. And the same trick as before over here on the positions. We're going to go 0 for X, 0 for Y. The width is going to be parent.width. And the height is going to be parent.height. Okay. So now in our image, click on image. So there we get our sample image. So I'm going to take that out, and we're going to replace it with a width. That sounds good, doesn't it? With a width. So we've got open brackets on there. So let's just put in the basic structure here, and then we'll worry about what's going to go inside it. So we've got the curly brackets to give us an empty JSON string, and then our final answer is going to be an SVG statement. So I'm going to go with a kind of template for the SVG, which is, let's put in the front code of the string and the encode part and the beginning of SVG. So we've just got to put the parts in the middle and do a close bracket. And that's a close bracket on the encode, and another close bracket, and that's on the width. And if I click on format text, there you are, it lays it out a little better. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you remember, draw those two hearts. We're going to have, because we're using the same code twice, I'm going to put it into a variable, hence we're using the width. So I'm going to put in an SVG variable there. And I've already got written a path that will give me a heart shape. Okay, so we can put into here that path that makes a heart shape. And then into our code here, I'm going to put in a SVG group, so G. And then we're going to make the fill to be equal to light grey. Can't use a double quotes, Laura. Got to use a single quotes. Right? So that's up to there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to close that string, ampersand in the SVG. And then another ampersand and another quote to start the string off again. And we're going to close the G tag. So if we just have a quick look at that, there you are, I've got a grey heart. So now what I can do is I can take that line there and copy it and then paste it into there, and I'm going to put in red. And if I now go and have a look, there you are, I've got a red heart. So that's done step 1, which was draw 2 hearts. The next part that we've got is to calculate the clip path. So we're going to start by calculating up here in my JSON string. I'm going to not put in one of those. I'm going to put in a comma, a new line, and put into there a parameter called clip width. Okay. Now, let's put that in as 100 just for a second. I need to go back into my component. Okay. So we're going to go into there, and I'm going to add a new custom property. And I'm going to call this score. Okay. And score percentage, just to remind us that it's got to be a percentage, and it's an input, and the data type coming in is a number. Okay, put create, and then let's give that score not the value 100, but let's go for 0.6, our 60% that we showed as an example earlier. So now let's go back into our image, and that clip width is going to be 100 times parent dot, it's not going to give me any help, there we are, it does when you get there, score. Okay, so let's just do a quick format text to make that laid out better. There we go. So now what we want to do is we want to put in a definition of a clip path. Any definitions in SVG get put into a thing called defs. So let's put that in, and then let's close that defs. Okay, the only thing we're going to put into this defs is a clip path. So that is clip, and then a capital P for the path. It's case sensitive, which is perhaps good news or bad news according to how tidy you are in your typing. That clip path needs to be a close. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to define a clip path here, and that clip path needs an ID. So we're going to put in ID equals, and then in single quotes, I'm going to give it a name. So let's call it heart clip. Okay. And then how you define it is you need to define a rectangle. So it's going to be a rectangle. We're going to start it off in 0, 0. Okay, and we're going to give it it's going to be the full height of the box. So let's start with a height 100. And then the width is the part that's going to change in this case. So the width is going to, now I need a quote. And then what we're going to do is put quotes, ampersand in our clip width. And then ampersand in, again, close that single quote because you need that. And then we're going to close our rectangle tag like that. Okay, that won't make any difference to our code at the moment because we haven't applied it. So that's the definition. Do you remember the blue dotted box? Now we're going to apply that to our red one, our red heart. So into that G fill red, we're going to put in that the clip path, and yeah, there's a hyphen in it this time, and there's not a capital P, just to keep you on your toes. And that's going to be URL, open bracket, close bracket, and a single quote. And then inside those brackets, you put a hash and then the name of your clip path. Get the case right. So, has that worked? And there we are. We've got it showing only 60% fill, right? So that's pretty good. What I'm also going to do though is I'm just going to add some text. Now I'm going to, just to make this video a little bit quicker, I'm going to copy that I've got pre-done. So that's going to go as the last thing, so it's right at the front. And if I just quickly talk you through it, we've got text starting at 50-50. Now the text anchor middle means that that's what the 50-50 is replying to. It's the bottom edge, but it's the middle of my text. I'm going to make it white so it stands out. And I've chosen font size 25. Okay, and then the font, what I'm going to show in that text is the value of the clip width, and then I'm going to put a percent on the end of it, so it will show 60%. And there we go, we've got 60%. So let's go and test our one on our screens. Let's go to custom and a heart fill. Wow, that's huge. Let's make that a bit smaller, otherwise I'm just not going to fit them all in. Okay, and we put that one into there. And what I'm going to do is that score there. So I've got a slider up here that's 0 to 100. So we're going to come into here. We're going to go for score there. We're going to go for there. And I'm going to, instead of 0.6, we're going to make that the slider score divided by 100. Okay, so now if we just do a play, I can drag that backwards and forwards, and also if you see, my stars also change as well. So that was filling a shape based on a percentage. If you haven't already, please press subscribe. Take care now.